It has been anything but magical for the Kings in the land of Disney, getting blown out in the first half in Orlando. Ryan in Sacktown with you. More importantly, joined by Jerry Reynolds. Jerry, thoughts on the first half just overall?
Well, really disheartening. I mean, I thought the first quarter was just nothing other than Domas was the only guy looked like came to play,
Yeah.
and it got in a big hole. And this is Orlando's certainly a talented team that their record is worse than it should be because of injuries. Because they've missed their two stars for 2/3 of the season, one way or another. But having said all that, the problem that bothers me a lot is they haven't been a very good offensive team, regardless. And,
Right.
and here they are. They average a little over 100 a game. They're right at the bottom of the league, and they and so far the Kings haven't shown any ability to slow them down at all.
Jerry, in the first meeting, Orlando made 16 threes. In this meeting, Orlando is shooting 40% from beyond the arc, and they are literally dead last in the NBA in 3-point percentage.
Yeah, but as we've talked before, I mean, when you get wide open threes, mediocre 3-point shooters get better, and
Yeah.
we've seen a lot of really open, comfortable shots. Now, I thought late in the second quarter there, the Kings toughened the defense up, and all of a sudden baskets got a little harder to come by. Uh, but if you're going to turn the ball over every time, then that doesn't help either. And I don't know that I've seen a situation where you have more turnovers than assists. And that's not a very good recipe for success.
Jerry almost double 6 assists and 11 turnovers in that first half.
Yeah, I really, I'm just kind of, my mind's a little bit boggled there because I mean that's hard to do, and so many of them unforced. I mean, they're a good defensive team. They have been
Great.
all year, but certainly half of those turnovers are gimmies.
Yeah, and you saw some mismatches off the beginning of the game. The Kings got some very good looks to start the game too. It was just a combination of missed shots, and then defensively, we've seen some doubling. We didn't see the zone until very late there in the second half. Do you expect to see more zone in the second half, Jared?
I do, and I think that's because you at least cut down on maybe the drives to the basket and the little 10, 12 foot shots they're getting. You're not. I don't think you could defend a three any worse. So I don't know
Sure.
what risk there is. The only risk really is just rebounding the ball. But we'll see. I mean, one thing about it is you could get back in this game with just taking care of the ball and start making some shots. I think they'll have a chance, but it has to start with getting some stops, and we haven't seen any of that.
Yeah, completely agree. The Kings are shooting 11% from beyond the arc and not getting a chance to really set their defense whatsoever. Orlando very active on the offensive end. I think a run is coming. That's going to have to be in part with the bench. And Jerry, the Kings bench right now being outscored 27-4.
Yeah, it hasn't been effective at all, and obviously Laravia not available play. Looks like Derek Carter may have sustained. I don't know if that's the same shoulder he had operated on, but he was certainly hurt. But yeah, just not getting any punch at all from the bench. And so right now, I mean, for the Kings to win this ball game, you're really going to have a big half. Levine has got to bring it here in the second half. I mean, DeRozan, can score. Domas will do what he does, but I think I really think Levine and Murray really going to have to get on heaters to have a chance, and they're certainly capable.
Yeah, Zach Levine and Malik Monk, between the two of them, are responsible for 8 of 11 of the Kings' turnovers, 5 to Malik's name. Devin Carter did hit the locker room. It appeared to be a non contact shoulder injury. It's the opposite shoulder, Jer, than
Oh,
he had surgery on before, but he has had surgery on that shoulder previously in high school. So we'll keep our ear to the pavement for any update there. Is there anything that you think Coach Christie might try to do? Maybe inject a guy that's not normally in the rotation to try to kickstart this offense in the second half?
well, I wish I could be encouraged. I don't know. I don't know really where you go. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where I think the guys you've been counting on, they've really got to step up. And like I say, I think Levine in particular. You just have to have a really productive half out of him. And, I mean, obviously he's turning it over and he's not scoring. So that's not a recipe for success. I mean, I don't think Monk can play worse. Those two,
Agreed.
I mean, just simply were totally ineffective. And I think just by them playing, not even up to their ability, but near their ability, the Kings probably will have a little bit of a chance of getting in this game because, as you know, it's a game of runs. If the Kings can have a run here early in the third, they're going to have a chance now. But if they don't, it might be a long evening here or afternoon.
Absolutely. And actually, both teams, the Bulls, or excuse me, the Kings and the Magic, are both going to be paying attention to the Mavericks and the Bulls game that takes place later tonight because both are a one game behind in the loss column in each conference, fighting for play in positions. So this is a big game for both teams, Jerry.
Sure is. I mean, well, really at this stage for the Kings, just to maintain nine, you're going to have to get wins and some wins. I mean, the odds of moving up to eight, I think, are just about slim and none. Uh, but you got a lot of teams. Still Phoenix still thinks they and Dallas are in range to get the Kings, and maybe they are.
Yep, they very well could be. This is the first game of a 6 game road trip. You've made this trip a million times, well, not a million times, but many times. Um, uh, is there something to a long flight? It was discussed on the broadcast, a long flight and your first game in that time zone after 24 hours.
I don't think the flight would have anything to do with it because they didn't play yesterday.
Right.
I mean, so they had a day off. So the flight and it's charter. So that I don't the time of the game itself, I think is a bit significant because 2 o'clock is an unusual time. Fact is, I fell asleep watching golf and missed the start of the game. So, things happen. But it is I mean, it's not the practice time they would even. I always say if it's a game where they'd normally be practicing, uh, that's one thing. But 2 o'clock here in the West, very unusual.
Yes, it is indeed. Okay, Sherry, that's just not cool, Sherry. She says, "Glad that I chose to sit out the first half of my on my beloved Waikiki Beach." So not only are you saying you didn't have to sit through what we sat through, but you're on Waikiki Beach, Sherry. Come on, can you rub it in anymore?
Well, bless her heart, I don't blame her a bit. I think I think, like I say, I woke up in time just to see the Kings down like 10 or 12 early in the middle of the first quarter. So I felt like maybe if I was having a nightmare or not. I didn't know. Holy cow, maybe I ought to go back to sleep.
Yeah, look, I think the start of the third quarter is going to mean everything to the Kings in this
It
one,
is.
Joe.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, good gracious, take care of the damn ball.
It's
I mean, it's
incredible.
just it's just incredible. I don't know that I've seen a sloppier half by especially guards that are supposed to be able to handle the ball.
Yeah,
So that start there, take care of the ball, and they're not a good 3-pointing shooting team, so you assume they'll cool down, and that may give you a chance to get back in the game.
Yeah, exactly right. Look, Orlando is number one in the league in limiting assists. They're, as you've said, Jerry, a great defensive team, but that wasn't so much Orlando's defense. That was just the sloppiness of Sacramento.
Yeah, the Kings guarded themselves every bit as well as the Magic did. you know,
It's like the other halftime show we started a couple nights ago. Do you want to talk about the bad defense or the bad offense? Which one is it?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
One thing I will say for the Magic, I'll give them credit. They move the ball around the perimeter much like the Kings, but you see a lot of cutters.
yes,
Cutters without the ball, and
yes.
we don't see it. With the Kings, seem like if anybody goes to the basket, they're going with the ball off the dribble, and just the movement. It makes it tougher to defend.
Yes, absolutely. It's a great point, Jerry. And the Magic don't like pace. They're 27th in the NBA, yet fast break points 8-7 right now. So the Kings will have to definitely do better there. Give us your final scores in the chat. We'll start putting some of those up in a second. We'll be back after the game, wrapping things up, taking your calls. Hopefully, Grant will be here. If not, you will have me solo. Jerry, your key or two to the second half, besides
Well,
everything.
well, I think that really, if there's ever a situation where you really need to press, pick up, and run. I mean, you got to get the pace up. To
Yeah,
win this game, you got to get it at your pace because the
bingo.
Magic, if you're going to play half court with the Magic, you're not going to win.
Bingo. Well said. All right. I will go first. I think the Kings will make a run. I think this will be within 10 points, but I still think ultimately the Magic win this one. I think the scoring slows down a bit. I'm going to say 110 to 99. Jerry?
I've got it 108, 103, but I think it's the Magic. I think it'll slow down. I think Kings will get within reach, but they got too much to make up.
I agree with you. Any plans for the rest of the afternoon, my friend?
Well, Mrs. Reynolds has got a couple of things she requests my presence at, so
Oh, okay.
I'll be doing some of that, and I can't wait. I just can't wait. I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, just remember, put that smile on your face. Happy
Well,
wife,
I
happy
will.
life, my friend.
I'll act like I care.
We could tell Miss Reynolds that you have to work tonight if you want.
Well, I'll try. I'll let you know how that comes out.
Yeah, right. I don't want Miss Reynolds coming after
No,
me.
you don't. No, you don't.
Well, tell her hi and have a great rest of the afternoon and enjoy those commitments. We will see you on Monday at halftime, my friend.
Sure will. And anyway, we're gonna make a run here. Let's just hopefully we see some good basketball by the Sacramento Kings. Just some really good basketball for
No
one.
doubt.
That'll help me a little bit.
Yep, it'll make tonight a little bit more tolerable while we are scoreboard watching with the Bulls and the Mavs. All right, Jared, thank you
All
so
right.
much. Appreciate
See
you.
you, Ryan. Take care.
Good stuff from Jerry Reynolds. As always, we are extremely lucky to have him at halftime here on the channel. Again, hoping Grant will be joining us. Let's get some of your scores up before we send you back out for the second half. 119, 105. Orlando, Lau, 111, 92. Not the Kings. Yeah, well done. 121, 104. Orlando doesn't score a lot of points. I think it's going to slow down, like Jerry said. We're both in agreement there, but I just don't see the Kings. The activity of Orlando is just so much better than the Kings right now. However, you can't play a worse half than the Kings played. I want to see Keegan continue to be aggressive. He had some really, really good looks. Those need to go down. And again, you can't have a 0-point performance. Well, I'm you know what? I take that away. The bench did score a few points, 4 points, but to have that big of a discrepancy in bench scoring, 27-4, that cannot happen again. One category we did not mention: offensive rebounds. They have been giving up way too many offensive rebounds. 9 for Orlando in the first half. Free throw percentage not great as well. So third quarter underway now. Make sure you join us back after the game for our post-game show on the channel. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a like. We greatly appreciate it. We'll be taking your calls right after this one. Enjoy the second half.